From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Tuesday, April 16th, 2019, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and before I introduce the cast, I want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by Quip toothbrushes. One of the most important things we can do for our health every day is brushing our teeth, yet most of us, Eddie, don't do it properly. Quip is a better electric toothbrush created by dentists and designers. It looks like the Apple of toothbrushes, or the Porsche of toothbrushes. Quip was designed to make brushing your teeth more simple, affordable, and even enjoyable. A lot of people brush too hard, and some electric toothbrushes are too abrasive. That's why Quip has sensitive sonic vibrations, gentle enough for your sensitive gums. Also, 3 out of 4 of us use bristles that are old, worn out, and ineffective. That's why brush heads are automatically delivered on a dentist-recommended schedule of every 3 months for just $5. I love Quip. Been using Quip for a couple years. I travel with Quip. I love Quip. You should get it. That's why they're backed by over 20,000 dental professionals. Quip starts at just $25, and if you go to getquip.com/relevant right now, you get your first refill pack for free with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack for free at getquip.com/relevant. Like I said, I'm your host, Cameron. Here with me in our Orlando studios today, Jesse Carey.
Hello, in the flesh.
He just landed.
I literally just landed. And if I sound frazzled, I was expecting to be here like 2 hours ago, delayed at the airport, but here we are. Here we are.
Over there on the ones and twos, our illustrious engineer, my brother, Chandler Strang.
Hello.
On the Skype line from Nashville, Tennessee, Tyler Huckabee.
Hey, everybody.
And the boys are back in town, sitting in for the show today from Gatorland, Florida, Eddie Big Cat Koffoltz.
Yes, I'd like to say something else about this Quip toothbrush, but you can keep going with the show. I love it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know how most electric toothbrushes are extremely loud? And it's like you don't think about it, but that will wake your spouse in the morning. So sometimes when Bree and I have an early morning, we're both using our Quip toothbrushes. No big deal. Still getting very clean teeth. I'm very passionate about this. Your teeth are your best friends, and you got to take care of them. And this Quip toothbrush is an amazing thing. That's all I have to say. I think I'm good now, actually.
Jesse gets sick a lot, and I think it's because he brushes his teeth weekly.
I also, I stopped flossing. You guys know my feelings about floss. It's a big
floss.
It's a big racket. And now I just, I'm testing the limits of what my teeth can do. So I eat a lot of acidic, rancid food. And that I want to push the limits of human teeth. And I think it's taking a toll on my health. No, seriously, I've been getting sick a lot lately, and I'm starting to put 2 and 2 together. The other thing too is I think you're supposed to throw out your toothbrush once you get sick. I feel like that. Isn't that the rule?
That's probably a good idea.
Because it's got the bacteria and the germs from your sick.
Yeah, but you don't throw out a Quip. You just get a new brush head.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I need to get a Quip, because I'm using a sickly toothbrush. I'm blaming it all on dental hygiene.
Or the lack thereof. Hey, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, Van Jones joins us.
Yes.
He's a news commentator, author, and non-practicing attorney. He's also the co-founder of several nonprofit organizations, and he joins us today to talk about his organization, the Reform Alliance, a group dedicated to changing America's criminal justice system. It's a very, we've talked about it, it's a bipartisan effort. It's amazing work that they're doing.
And we also talk, and this is all related, he's got a show coming on CNN that it's ramping up, so we're going to talk a little bit about that too. And I actually watched 2 of the episodes. Yeah. You guys know me, I'm not a crier. I don't really. The thing is, I'm not one to get a,
You're not a crier.
Not a crier. Don't have a lot of feelings in general.
Right.
Pretty dead inside, just as a rule of thumb. Just gets me through life. But no, I watched his new show called The Redemption Project, and it airs on Sunday night. So this week coming up.
So it premieres this weekend. So he's coming on the Relevant Podcast to announce this new show to the nation.
Yeah, essentially, this show, here's the premise. They take someone who is like a violent offender, and they let them meet face to face with the family of a victim of violent crime. So I watched 2 episodes. Both of the episodes these family members had lost children to like a violent crime, like their children were murdered. And they sit down with the person who committed the crime years later. And there's like forgiveness. There is like Van Jones' whole thing is like restorative justice, not retribute, not just punishing.
Did anybody jump over the table and like go after the guy?
Not in the well, here's the thing, not in the two that I saw, but he says in the interviews, like, look, not all of them end, warm, fuzzy feelings. But he's like, this is, the whole idea is to give the opportunity to these victims to have, because a lot of times like someone will get, put in prison or whatever, but at the end of the court case, they don't have closure. They never get to sit down with the person and say, why did you do this? But what you find out is like a lot of the perpetrators are victims of their own circumstances to some degree, either involved in drugs or at the wrong place at the wrong time. Awesome show, great calls, and great dude, Van Jones. So,
and he really broke on the scene. Like, was the election, the 2016 election, was that when he like came into?
I feel like that's when I became aware of him. He was on the
map, in a way that I don't think he had been up to that point for his election coverage.
I just remember there being a few like quotes or moments in that election coverage where you were like, "Whoa, this guy has got a lot to say." And so I think his show will be really thoughtful. I'm looking forward to it.
Extremely thoughtful, extremely eloquent speaker. Obviously, like really, really good at being like he's quick with a very poetic language he's great at like succinct quotes, and I appreciate his commitment to restorative justice. I hope that this show makes a difference, because it'd be cool to see the Justice Department tilt that direction.
The other thing too is I love interviews where I don't even ask the first question and they just start answering it. Like, hey Van, how's it going? Great. You know what? I'm excited for people to see this show. He just like jumps right in. I just say hello. He's already answering a question for it. He makes my job very easy. Very easy. Yeah.
He knows what's going on. Let's just get to it.
You can tell.
It's like he's a professional, commentator or something.
I think, okay, here, I don't want to brag. I haven't looked at the Late Show circuit this week, but if he showed up on like the Tonight Show or something promoting the show, wouldn't be shocking to me. We've been a pipeline lately.
I know that's crazy. Somebody on Twitter pointed that out, that like in 1 week we had Nate Bargatze and Taraji P. Henson on the Relevant podcast. And then that same week, The Tonight Show had Nate Bargatze and Taraji P. Henson.
And I have a theory, especially with like, when you go on those shows, you go on the Tonight Shows, you got to have like a little anecdote. Something funny. Hey, so I was at the airport. Oh, are you doing any traveling lately? Oh, it's a funny story. My suitcase has got, just these wacky little celebrity stories. Right. I think people are coming on here to test material, because when we had Bargatze, I asked him, we talked for about a half hour, and people heard some of the interview run, a lot of it, was online. But, I asked him, I was like, what did your parents think when you were like, okay, I'm doing because he talks about his dad and the magician thing. But I was like, when you decided to go into comedy and you told your parents that. And he was like, well, we all knew that college just wasn't for me. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, I failed a bowling class. I was like, oh, how do you fail bowling? He's like, I don't know. I was a pretty good bowler. He's like, they made you manually keep score. It's very complicated. And I could tell right there. He was like testing to see if this is a Late Show story. I'll use it on this pod, because, the stakes are much lower here. It's informal. They're probably going to edit this up. But if you're a celebrity promoter show, you got to have those good stories and you got to test them somewhere.
But you got to feel like Van Jones isn't going to go on Fallon, right? Because he's not going to sit there and play whatever it is,
Carrie with Emma Jones or whatever. So
he's going to be something
else going on.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be on Colbert.
Yeah.
I would have a very hard time seeing Van Jones to promote this show
about restorative justice,
putting on two giant pairs of hands and slapping Jimmy Fallon as they play beer pong. I don't think that's the vibe of this show. Though I will
spinning some wheel and having to sing "Staying Alive" like whoever. I don't know what they do.
Van Jones, Marie Kondo, and Emma Stone all having to put together some sort of crazy last minute blind karaoke taste test situation.
I will say this: I would love to see a real interview of Marie Kondo. She seems like so. You've watched Tidy Enough.
Yeah, of course. I think it's funny that her name is now a verb. I Marie Kondo'd my house on Saturday,
Yeah. The other thing is when she's on the show, she almost seems otherworldly, she sits in the house
she's a little porcelain doll.
Yeah. And her observation, she doesn't seem like a normal human. You know, like
But she is. She's a mom, and
I'm sure she is. I'm just saying she doesn't seem like it. She seems like, listen, Marie Kondo is onto something. She's operating on a different level here. You know, like I got these two yahoos arguing over coat hangers, and she's talking to the couch to see if the couch wants to be in the house. It's a whole nother thing. I would love to see her on one of these late shows. I mean, I kind of want to know the real person, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what's it like to...
Let's get some big hands on her and see how she does with
exactly.
Maybe we should get her in relevant. Maybe she could help us out a little bit. Maybe she could tell us, what
what
we bring her in.
segments?
She's a guest editor in the mag. She cuts out half the content. It ends up being like a booklet. It's like a pamphlet.
It's like a little pamphlet. You know what I don't like? What was funny about the whole Marie Kondo fad, though, and I guess it's still happening, is that people will like post a picture at the end of a long weekend and be like, I Marie Kondoed my bedroom today. And then you see the before shot, and you're like, how did you live in this squalor? I mean, there was just piles of junk. Like, it would be something if Bree and I Marie Kondoed, because we're fairly tidy people and we've moved a few times. Like, if you look around our house, like, it would be a thing to go through and find a ton of stuff. But these people that seem to be really into it are like, listen, you're a hoarder and you're filthy and you're disgusting.
You've been using the same toothbrush through 3 bouts of stomach flu. I think we found the problem here. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, he's coming up later. And before you, think that this is a partisan thing.
Yeah.
The work he's doing on criminal justice reform is absolutely 100% bipartisan. He's working with the Trump administration, saying very positive things about their commitment to this issue. So this is not an issue that will be on one side of the aisle or the other.
Yeah, not at all. Because even this week, as we're recording it, I saw the morning we were recording it, he was kind of taking some heat for so vocally congratulating Kim Kardashian on her work with the Trump administration on justice reform. Like he's not afraid to cross the aisle when it comes to this issue.
Who would have thought?
He's one of
Kim
Putin's puppets too. He's very proudly colluded with Russia. So there's really like he's crossed aisles in many different ways here that I think are really valuable and show that anybody can cross over.
And he spills all of it on the podcast coming up later.
Yeah, I can't believe. I mean, it's a confession. It's a confession to treason. I can't believe we got it. We got it.
Very shocking things.
It was unprompted too. He just
he was
like, my whole thing is restorative justice, and speaking of which, I need to get some things off my own chest. I've colluded with Russia, and Kim Kardashian, because of my work with President Putin, will be the next president of the United States. Are we prepared to have Kanye West as the first husband? First man, Kanye.
Oh my God!
I would rather have Kim the president.
Mueller. This is all in the Mueller report. I don't know. I assume this is there.
No one's read it. One's read it. It's too long.
All right. Moving the show along. It's our Tuesday episode, which means it's time for
Slices.
All right.
Okay.
It's time for slices. What do you have, Jesse?
I have a twofer, but they're very closely related. So
it's kind of a double dip.
It's a double dip with. I was gonna take the metaphor into like bean for some reason, like
beans?
Those. No, a double dip bean. No, like the ice creams that you get at Dairy Queen, where they dip it.
Yeah, they dip it.
Yeah. You're
gonna get some crunchies on top.
There's gonna be crunchy. I'm gonna start with a crunchy one, and then you're gonna go right in to the soft goodness at the core of this slice. By the way, when you guys go to Dairy Queen, how often the flex of turning the blizzard upside down before they head it to. Why do they do that? Why?
To show you how that this isn't a runny normal thing. This is a thick ice cream.
Do they need to do it every time? Like it's like I get it. Like that's why I got the blizzard, because I'm aware of its consistency.
I haven't been to a Dairy Queen in forever, forever. And I was in downtown Chicago before an event, and I was like, well, I need to get a snack. Oh, there's Dairy Queen. I popped in there. The guy in front of me orders a blizzard. And they, hand it to him upside down. And I'm like, what are you doing?
I know.
I didn't know it was their thing. Yeah. And then I saw the sign. And it was like, if we don't flip it upside down, you get it for free.
It's a flex.
But that's like a recent thing with Dairy Queen, like a marketing thing, because back in the day, like turning it upside down has always been in the Dairy Queen manual. But it used to be just for like employee quality control, how they'd know that they got the consistency right. And so if you knew that, you could walk in and say like, I'd like a blizzard, and will you turn it upside down? And they had to do it. It's only in recent years that it's been like a mainstream thing. So that's my hot take for the podcast.
Eddie, are you a former Dairy Queen employee? Are you a staffer?
Yeah, You sound like you're very familiar with the handbook.
Why are you so familiar with the ins and outs of the Dairy Queen manual? It's
an extremely boring story. Why? But I knew someone that used to work at Dairy Queen, and they told me that this used to be like a secret little Dairy Queen hack, and now it's like, oh, everybody's got to turn your little drinky upside down.
I know. We're we didn't intend to get on ice cream talk, but here we are.
It's like Van Jones. I didn't even ask a question. Just, there it is.
He just started. Guys, we're talking ice cream today. Good. We got a great pod. We got a listener of the week we're excited about. We got Van Jones doing very important work. And finally, getting some things off our chest about ice cream.
Ice cream chatter.
Yeah.
Well, it's finally getting warm out. People are,
exactly. People are thinking about these things.
I drove by the other night in our little downtown of our neighborhood. There was a line out the door of Jeremiah's Italian Ice. It's like, it's that time of year. Family, 7:00 at night. Yeah. After dinner, they're going there. Magic. I was like, oh, look at that. I've never once been there.
I'm more of a Froyo's been the game changer for me. Because
that's not a new thing, that, right?
Well, but I know it's been around for a while, but like
since you were like 7.
No, I'm not talking about TCBY. I'm not talking about.
You're talking about the new the places where you go the wall of toppings and then you weigh it. And you weigh
it. That is an all-time game changer for 2 reasons. One, the places I go, if you guess the exact weight, it's free. I've come within an ounce, like a gummy bear's worth, like the weight of one gummy bear could have tipped the scales on that I'm getting deadly close to answer it every time because I eat it all the time. But I feel like every place, like I feel like that if we want to see how we can disrupt.
Wait, dude, you could do this. Think about this. Next time you go, time how long you're doing the ice cream. Like count 1,000, 2, 1,000, boom. And then have exact 2 scoops this, 2 scoops that. See what it is when you pay.
Yeah.
And then next time, replicate it. And for the rest of your life, you're eating for free.
I am like the Heisenberg of Froyo. Like just so precise I come in there with like scooping instruments and tongs and I like it.
4 gummy bears plus, 1 scoop. Dude, you could do it.
The only problem is I lose self-control when I just start.
That's where they're banking on. Yeah. Nobody who's coming here all the time is going to have the self-control to do that.
They have a real problem. They're making $12 Froyos. So I feel like I was going to say one other ice cream thing, but now I forgot. So
that's too bad. Should we take a second so you can remember it? Just like we pause, like that you really.
I know people are hanging on my every word.
Leave this in. Don't cut it out. We're just going to be quiet until Jesse remembers.
Oh no! What I was saying is other food places need to be disrupted, like the Froyo thing. Like why are there people standing behind the Chipotle counter making? Why am I telling someone, hey, put chicken in there, put cheese in there? Why don't we just forget all that? Let me make my burrito bowl, weigh it, and I'll pay for it then.
So essentially what you're saying is everything just becomes a buffet.
And you pay by weight for everything.
I don't want everybody's hands in the line. You know what I mean? Like I literally was at a Jason's Deli once, has a big salad bar. Yeah. And I was eating dinner and there was only like 2 or 3 other people or tables eating. Yeah. So it was largely empty, but there was this lady at the salad bar that caught a couple of our eyes because she was standing out there for a while. Yeah. And so we look over and she's at the end of the line at the chocolate pudding part.
Oh God!
And she reaches into the chocolate pudding with her finger, and then hold on, and then licks it. No, listen, and licks it, and then does it again, and licks it, and does it again, and licks it, and to the point that like I'm watching her, and this other family's watching her, and the other family finally, the mom had enough.
How old is the lady?
She's just a middle-aged lady on there by herself, like. Unaware of what she's doing.
She's by herself.
And then the other lady,
this whole episode.
The other mom
the whole show over
yells
again.
at her.
Yeah.
Like, ma'am. Like,
what'd she say?
Oh, she's like, whoa, and got flustered and left,
She just left.
Well, because she was doing a takeout salad. And so she was just doing a little extra treat for herself before she packed up her box.
Do you think she just had one of those moments where she just forgot where she was?
You know what I mean?
She
was like, oh, that was delicious.
I'll just have,
that's why I don't want Chipotle to be like that. Who knows what they're doing down there at the guac part? You know what I mean?
I mean, ideally, we need
a serious accusation.
Yeah, I mean, what they need is like minimal supervision, like some kind of Chipotle lifeguard, and he's walking on top of the sneeze guard and just looking down on everyone to making sure no one's got their mitts in the guac. Yeah, but otherwise. There's no reason. Let's just cut out the middleman, right? I don't need to tell the kid. medium, not mild. I'll just do it. And I'll put exactly how much I want. Tyler, Eddie, you guys are looking at me like I'm speaking Spanish here.
No, I do think that this is a level of like the democratization of the buffet line. That's a lot of power to give the American people, and I don't know that I trust all of them. It just seems like that's a lot of responsibility. And Cameron's story does have me thinking that that's not the only lady out there,
you know what I'm saying?
sticking her fingers in chocolate pudding.
Hey,
if there's
you can
one,
have
there's more.
10,000, fine. And then that one weirdo dips his finger in the guac and the whole batch is done.
All of a sudden,
Let me ask you, do you think it may be different if you had like even just like a little drone flying around broadcasting what was happening at the buffet up on a big screen to keep you accountable because you knew everybody could see you? Do you think that would make a difference?
No, here's what they need. Honestly, there's only one way to do it right. And that's like, you ever seen a movie that like they show the security set up at like a casino where there's cameras hidden above? They see every hand in that casino is accounted for. And there's a guy who's like the architect at the end of the Matrix who's watching all the screens.
Yeah.
He's zooming in. Oh, we got a finger getting close to the guac and they can scoop you down. I feel like that's a pretty easy solution. We already have casino technology. You install that in the
your
Chipotles.
scenario to give people the freedom.
Yes.
You are adding a staff and a
It is
technological
communist
infrastructure.
Russia.
Yeah. You are
Listen, people can't be trusted.
Surveillance
Big Brother
society.
is watching every buffet. Like cameras over even the gross stuff. Like no one's putting their bare hand in shredded lettuce. No one's doing that. That would be a weird thing to do. Like that's just not gonna happen. But you know what? We're gonna have eyes on it. We're gonna get eyes on it.
I think the big problem we're facing here is that like froyo is dispensed. So in theory, you can't touch the original product until it is out in the wild. I think what we really need is dispensers for all like I'm down with the Chipotle idea, but it must be dispensed. So I hit a button, half a cup of chicken pops out. Hit again, another half cup of chicken.
Yeah, exactly. And you just keep going. Yeah.
So the kids behind it are just filling the hoppers. They're just pouring more chicken into the chicken dispenser.
Just chicken,
more
chicken
refried beans.
refried beans. Everything's got a dispenser.
Hey, listen. Hey, Frank, I got bad news, man. The refried bean dispenser's clogged up again. Yeah. And they said, one guy, he's just got the most disgusting pipe cleaner in the world. He's like, gosh, this has been
everything is dispensed.
So this is what happens when Annie's not on the show.
We need to get Van Jones on the line because I got to get his thoughts on. No, one other thing. I'll just say this, and then I'll move on to the slice.
I can't believe this is the preamble to the slice. This is crazy.
Then it has nothing to do with the slice either. You guys remember Casa Bonita?
Oh, yeah. in Tulsa?
Yeah, there's one in Denver. There's one in Tulsa.
I went to the
Dallas.
One,
yeah. Eddie, are you familiar with Casa Bonita?
No.
This is unbelievable.
Okay,
it's so hard to explain. I love hearing people describe it because everybody's got a different description.
Let me give you a quick elevator pitch, Eddie. And next time we're in one of the cities.
And I will tell you, not knowing what he's going to say, in no way is what he's going to say an exaggeration of the reality.
It
sounds fake.
So you go in there and first they ask you, like, where would you like to dine tonight? Would you like to dine under a waterfall where a man dives off into a pool? He dives, he walks up a ladder, dives the whole time. You just watch him dive while you eat. Would you like to eat in like an old saloon in the West, inside of a cave in a rainforest? You pick your room. And they have it set up for you, and you can go to these same rooms, and then there's no ordering, right? There is literally a conveyor belt with plates of Mexican food that run down a line, and it's a flat fee, and you're paying for access to the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
And if you need more chips and salsa, every table comes equipped with a pirate flag. That is raised when you need more chips and sauce. It's the perfect system.
I think that is a perfect system.
It really is.
I think you need a refill. Well, raise the pirate flag.
Exactly.
I love the pirate flag idea.
Yeah.
And the conveyor. Anyway, I had a guy that I knew in college, and you would not believe how you went to Casa Bonita in Tulsa, right?
Of course.
It is cranking 24/7. Like, and the amount of Mexican food that ends up on that conveyor belt is
oddly
astonishing.
the lifespan for people in that city 38. Nobody's made it.
The amount of plates that go down that conveyor belt, it is astonishing that they're to create that volume.
And you know that it's being consumed too, because these plates with the enchiladas with the sauce on it or the refried beans, it's gonna skin over if it's out there for a little while. And it's not skinned over.
Speaking of skinning over, I knew a guy who worked there, and he had one job. Like, he would show up, do this one job for 8 hours, and then leave.
Was he would don a Speedo and jump off the waterfall?
No, he didn't have that. That's the job he applied for, and they're like, "Hey, unfortunately,
you've had too much of our refried beans.
The sweet job of high diving is already filled, but we got some I know you're going to love." This is literally what he said all day. He said there's a gigantic vat of refried beans, like just like a barrel that they'll just dump more in when it gets a little low. And then, people come over and they scoop it out and put it on the plates. His job was, this is what he told me, was all day to stir that giant vat of refried beans with a boat oar. That's all he did all day.
Boat oar.
They don't have an instrument for it. Like, there's
they could invent one. There's
it's very
industrial
specific.
size
But how different than a boat oar would it be? There's no need to reinvent the wheel here.
I was going to say,
the boat oar exists.
I could commission a refried bean stirring instrument, or I could go to Dick's and buy a boat oar, and it'll be just fine. So anyway, I don't even know how we got here.
That was slices.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll make this fast because I use my allotted time to talk about Casa Bonita.
Revolutionizing the food industry.
Yeah.
That's
thank
what
you.
You're doing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Van Jones is revolutionizing the criminal justice system. You're revolutionizing the food industry.
It's like the guy. It's the person that first got the Cheesecake Factory pitch. His mind was. So you're telling me
a yearbook full. The yearbook of a menu.
The menu. It literally has everything. And most people don't get cheesecake.
How do we print them? How can we afford to print such large books? I know. Sell advertising.
We'll have ads all in them. It's very gaudy, and it will be a lot of stucco and faux, Renaissance painting. Okay, Lyft. You guys are familiar with Lyft. They had a big initiative where they were releasing pedal assist electric bikes in cities around the country. Here in Orlando, it's like Lime. Is that the Lime cycles or whatever? Have you guys ridden any of these?
No.
I've ridden one or two, yeah.
Yeah, I have in other cities, but in Orlando, of course, it's 9,000 degrees
like?
and everything is far away. So.
What was the experience like for you, Eddie, when you rode one another?
It was fine. Yeah, no, it was fine. It was like I think I did it in DC. It was totally like a very convenient, nice way to get a couple blocks quickly.
Yeah. So I've ridden them in DC too, but the thing is, like, they're not pedal assist. They're just very sturdy, heavy bikes.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
The Lyft ones were adding like a degree of technology in
mopeds.
there. Yeah, exactly. Like, you get them started, they run and go. Well, they have recently pulled bikes from New York, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C. Lyft, because the technology that was telling the bikes how to operate was going haywire in the worst possible way.
What?
And that is, some of the bikes, you would be riding them, and for some reason the bike would jam the front brake.
Oh my goodness.
Causing the most hilarious accidents ever. Because there's nothing funnier than whoa, like over the handlebars. Like, I'm not advocating bikes, bike accidents, but that's funny. Like, it's as long as the person isn't hurt, And so they released a statement. We recently received a small number of reports from riders who experienced stronger than expected braking force on the front wheel. So this is happening like this to such a common degree that they're having to pull these bikes out of major cities, jamming the front brake. So it leads to a lot of questions, like, how much trust are we giving artificial intelligence? How much trust do we want to give to these machines that if I'm coasting down I've never been to San Francisco, but I picture it all like those big hills, like in the opening credits of Full House. If I'm bombing one of those on a Lyft bike, I don't want the front brake jamming.
Right.
That's a lot of power to give to a machine. Well, finally someone is stepping up and has drafted a statement of principles that will guide us in our relationship to artificial intelligence. Can anyone just venture a guess? What institution do we trust enough to tell us how we should think about artificial intelligence. What's the most obvious one that comes to mind?
Like the medical field, right?
The Southern Baptist Convention. Duh. Come on, guys. We were waiting.
So dumb.
We were waiting for their big statement on that. They just, they've been so progressive in all of their other thinkings, now allowing slacks on, days other than Sunday. I mean, they're really progressive institution, but they have released the statement that no one asked for from them, the artificial intelligence : an evangelical statement of principles. The great thing about the Southern Baptist Convention, they have a lot of time on this. They don't have any other big pressing things they have to worry about these days. Let's just get all the leaders. Let's get all the leaders together, all these pastors, and let's have them figure out how we should deal with artificial intelligence.
Yeah. How about let's solve inappropriately touching children first?
Yeah. How about widespread systemic abuse at every level and
okay, but also the robots are coming, so we got to get behind this.
So I think that's what they did. They overcorrected because they realized we react too much. We're on the defensive all the time. We're always like 5 years behind. We need to get ahead of the next issue, and they overshot by about 100 years. But
no one will accuse us of being behind the 8 ball. Yeah.
I can admire the instinct. I just think they maybe like the pendulum just swung too far the other direction.
Yeah. We really have to have the foresight to look down the road at what could be a big problem. 200 years from now. So I did you guys, Tyler, I know we wrote about it on the site, relevantmagazine.com. Did you read through? I read the entire statement of principles. Did you read through it?
Wow.
I went to the summary.
What are you doing with your life?
Yeah, Cliff Notes.
It's quite lengthy. And okay. So I was disappointed in it because if you're gonna go out of your way,
you were combing it for gold.
I was combing it for gold. I was like, there's
good.
got to be something good in here,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is the safest statement on. Essentially, it comes down to. Okay, well, if anyone asks, it addresses things that no one's considering. That's my problem with it. It's like, in this hypothetical world, are you actually worried about people worshiping it? It literally addresses, hey, should it get so smart? Remember, Christians, biblically, it's probably wrong to worship it. It's like,
what?
Who needed?
But isn't that really their primary concern? I mean, what else are they as concerned about with these robots? What could they don't care if it's delivering Prime Amazon packages or whatever. They just don't want people to make the robots God. That's got to be what their deal is.
Yeah, I mean, because the other stuff was, they weren't saying anything that, like I said, there was no need to have a theological meeting about this. It's like, we're okay with artificial intelligence working in the workplace, even if it means losing jobs because of it's like, I didn't need my pastor to tell me that. I'm totally fine with that.
They saved a lot of time down the road, though. Think about that.
Yeah,
Did they answer the fundamental question too that I'm sure Tyler also has, which is dating, falling in love with, marrying a robot?
Okay, okay. They did have a creepy section again.
Yeah.
Really?
This is what we're all thinking. Okay. I just need you to find a way to tiptoe around it.
Yeah, but okay. So this statement consists of several articles. Article 1, image of God. Article 2, AI is technology. Article 3, relationships of AI and humanity. Article 4, medicine. Article 5, pretty high level stuff. Nothing too weird. Article 6, sexuality.
Yes,
and it's okay.
Now we're cooking.
Now we're getting weird.
That's
now
what
we're getting
I
weird.
Know about.
Now it's like you just didn't need to go there. I figure I can read the subhead Southern Baptist pastor. I went to a Southern Baptist high school. I know you're thinking about sexuality. I probably know what you're going to tell me about sexuality as it pertains to robots.
Yeah, because I
don't need to read this creepy thing.
Right. You don't think you're going to open that and it's just like, hey, go for it. If it feels right, you do you.
Yeah. Oh, but because it's like, you know what this is like?
All love is of God. No.
Yeah. This is what it was like, jamming sexuality in there. Like they have one about war and work and all these.
I wonder if it's the pendulum swing thing. It's like they've been criticized for not addressing sexuality in their own denomination.
But
and
now they do it
leadership.
the creepiest way possible.
Now every topip they have to address from now on will have a sexuality application.
It's like I felt like I was reading this, and then all of a sudden it was like you're 12 years old and your dad pulls you aside and wants to have a talk with you. That's what it felt like reading this.
No.
Like,
It is.
I didn't need this. Like, were you just warming me up for Article 6 about sexuality?
It really was. The whole thing was like,
everything
here's
else
some
was
pretty
pretense.
obvious statements. Here's some obvious statements. And then Article 6. And now why we're here. We recently all saw an episode of Westworld and it freaked us out, and you cannot date these things.
This has I saw one episode of Westworld and called a meeting written all over it.
Exactly. A congregate told me about this show Westworld, and it's like they're like, okay, and then these pastors are like, oh, we got to do something about it. I mean, if it's on a TV show, then it's not that far in reality. How are we going to address this subtly? I know. We'll talk literally about every possibility with artificial intelligence, including it getting so powerful that it demands that we worship it. And then we'll talk about sexuality right in the middle of it. Article 6. 6 of the 12. It's just jammed right in there.
No one will ever know.
$10 says it started out as the evangelical statement on human sex robot relations. We're like, that's a little weird. We can't release this. So you're gonna think we're
Why is this coming up?
It's because somebody is like, nobody's worried 10 years ago because nobody's even thinking about like Watson playing Jeopardy that way. They're just like, oh, okay, we're fine. But as soon as that robot lady appeared on Jimmy Fallon and was telling monologue jokes, all of a sudden some like pastor somewhere got a little flush under the collar and was like, we gotta
talk about this. We have got to address this. I just think it's not the greatest look for them. Like we didn't think it was given. Why do we need this statement? It's just baffling and hilarious. Like here's the other thing too. I would have like loved to have been in the meeting. It's like Matt Chandler, David Flatt, Russell Moore, all these guys, all these like Southern Baptist Convention big wigs, and they're like, okay, Frank, we assigned you Article 6. Which one is that? And he's like, I got the one about sexuality. It's just hilarious that it even came to this. Yeah. That it even came to this. Like the thoughts of people that we never asked them what they thought about this topic, but yet here we have it in print forever. So if you want to read it, you can. There's a link to it on our website. Read at your own caution. But
a redacted version.
Because a heavily redacted version.
I will say this.
Too hot for.
There was no need to get this detailed. Let's just
let's
just keep it high level. Let's just keep it high level. We can assume we don't need every possible scenario that you put in there. We'll just keep it.
And that section is probably like 34 pages long. Everything else is like a memo size, and this is just.
All right, what do you have, Tyler?
Okay, well, we're gonna keep talking about food. We're gonna backtrack just like 5 minutes. We're gonna keep talking about dining out. Going to the restaurant. When it comes time to pay the bill, do you guys have a go-to tip methodology? Like here's how I figured.
I look at the waiter
like a standard, assuming that service was not like especially terrible or incredible.
Yeah.
Just like here's what I do.
20% no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would never pay under 20%.
I just eyeball, like if it's $36, $36, $7.20. Just like I can just double the thing and then quick
easy.
math. Yeah. 20%.
I look at the waiter and said, your job was easy. I could have done what you've done. I will give my tip to the guy in the back stirring a vat of refried beans with a boat oar. And the guy's probably got forearms like my thigh, just stirring. That guy deserves a tip. But anyway, it's a non-traditional method. But go ahead, Tyler.
Well, I thought that was a pretty standard. I think 20% is a pretty standard, like generally speaking, 20% on a bill.
The question is if you've ever waited tables. I think anybody who's ever waited tables tips well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I waited tables in college at 20%. No way.
Yeah.
Nothing less.
because you're aware then that even if if things didn't come out as fast as you wanted them to, a lot of times it's out of the server's hands. Like it was out of everybody's hands. Something bad happened, and they're as embarrassed about it as you are. I'm not going to punish you because you couldn't get my food to me as fast as I wanted to. So there was some internet drama last week regarding this, what I thought was very simple, straightforward etiquette. And it came to us from the folks at CNBC. They have this, a little vertical called CNBC Make It, which is apparently about how to save money, like financial tips. That looks like pretty standard stuff, nothing that's too egregious, but they put out a video that even the title of it should tip you off a little bit. A simple tipping trick that could save you money. So a tipping trick that saves you money obviously means
tipping less.
You're tipping less. Yeah, that's the trick. And I hate to spoil this. We'll jump right to the end. But the trick is to save less. It's a video, a very friendly guy and a dorky looking plaid shirt talks about how you're spending too much money tipping on the post-tax part of the bill. He recommends switching to the tipping on the pre-tax part of the bill, which ends up being saving you, according to him, $400 a year. I think you'd have to be eating out quite a bit to save $400 a year just by swapping from post-tax to pre-tax. But he says you end up tipping between $4 to $6 less on average, obviously more depending on where you're going or not. But this was infuriating.
Because the math too is that's an insane amount of money to save by not just paying on the pre-tax. Where's this guy? The other thing too is the production of the video. It's from CS or MSNBC or what's the finance one? CNBC. Yeah. And had the setup of a legit finance tip. And the guy comes out and he's like, hey there, if you're like me, and this is where I knew his math was going to be wrong. You eat at Ruth's Chris at least 4 to 5 times a week, right? Am I right? But it was this friendly, insane setup for what they were positioning to be actual helpful financial information, and it was just don't tip your server as much.
Yeah.
And they did these cutaways to man on the street type interviews where they'd go up to New Yorkers and just say, how much do you tip? And they're like, 20%, 15%, whatever. And then kind of made them out to be financial idiots. No wonder these people are walking around New York like a bunch of losers. They're spending too much on the tip. They're giving their servers too much money. And they even at the very end, after they explained the tip, there was one woman said, well, that seems kind of dirty to the server. And they're like, get a load of this woman. She thinks it's not nice to tip servers very well. They made her very reasonable, very actually kind and empathetic comment about their objectively stingy, miserly, and frankly downright stupid quote unquote trick. Seemed like she was the idiot.
Yeah. Because he did say, yeah, sure, tip 20%, just do it on the pre-tax total, which is the actual total.
Yeah.
And so he's that puts, $1 back in your pocket.
That's 35 cents back in your pocket.
Yeah. And then times however many times, it's $400 a year.
But at the end of the day, it's still tipping less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just,
You could have cut out the whole middleman there and just say, just don't tip this much. I think the final tip was then that he suggested just doubling the taxed amount, which ends up being, depending on which state you're in, obviously something like 17 to 18%. So at that point, you're not tipping your servers very much at all. And the point of the video, which is to not make you look like a cheapskate, is absolutely what it came across. You come across
because when are you going to tell the server, hey, listen, I used to tip $2 more on this meal, but now you understand, I'm still 20%. It's just before tax. It's the server doesn't care. They're just getting less money. It's just so dumb and terrible.
Tip your servers. Tip your servers.
But more and more, there are restaurants that are doing away with taxes. With tipping. Yeah. And it kind of makes sense.
It's a thing.
Yeah. It would certainly be nice if tipping was no longer on the table, isn't it? I mean, isn't it uncomfortable and weird? I mean, we do it, but it's odd.
I agree that if restaurants would choose instead to pay their work, to say it's on us as a company to pay our servers well, we're not going to rely on the generosity of our customers anymore to take care of that. I think that would ultimately be a universal good, but it would take a lot of places doing that for the zeitgeist to move that direction.
Well, and I think the tipping the way we do is a uniquely American phenomenon. I mean, here in Orlando, we have so many visitors. Like the restaurants down in the tourist area all have tipping explanations on the bill.
Oh, really?
Kind of like informing all the international visitors, like, here's the customary amount that you should probably tip. It's interesting.
Because like other parts of the world don't tip on meals.
Yeah, because they compensate their wait staff differently. Yeah. And it's not expected.
It's like I'm not going to tip the retail employee that helped me pick out a pair of jeans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In France, it's customary to just leave loose change, like whatever it ends up being like 25, 50 cents or so. In America, which is all I had. I left them American change. I hope that's all right.
Like a fun little that's all I was planning on leaving anyway. Yeah. Anyway. Jim Cramer told me that's all I need to leave anyway. So,
all right, what do you have, Eddie?
Well, I have it's a quick one, but I have a warning for our friends in Jackson, Mississippi, and also just somebody is doing something that is making me so proud that it's just worth bringing to the attention of a national audience. And it comes out of Jackson, Mississippi. So residents in a neighborhood in Jackson keep finding something all over the place. And I really need to just not leave that open to questions. I was going to be like, oh, what do you think they keep finding? But that's a terribly, they could go very weird. They are finding all over the place bowls of mashed potatoes. So people walk outside one day and they're finding bowls of mashed potatoes just sitting on the cars, sitting on the porches, sitting on top of mailboxes. And I've seen these bowls.
You said this is Jacksonville?
Jackson, Mississippi.
Jackson, Mississippi. Okay. And I will tell you, I thought, well, are they like they're just styrofoam bowls like you'd have at a picnic. Yeah. And a lovely, very well thoughtfully made bowl of mashed potatoes inside of it. A nice portion, right? Like it just, you look at it and it's a nice bowl of mashed potatoes
too. Like if you're leaving a side out, like why not go for like the sweet potatoes, like the ones with the marshmallows on top, like it's
too much work. Too much work.
Well, Eddie, is this some kind of weird viral marketing campaign?
So someone has said, so the punchline is they still have no clue who it is. That's the best part of it is you thought, okay, maybe it is viral marketing, or somebody said it was like they were afraid that they were poisoning the animals, and that doesn't seem to be the case. But apparently this neighborhood, this Belhaven neighborhood, is sort of quirky, and a couple of times like there are residents that decorate road signs, they put Christmas trees in potholes. And so there's this weird little neighborhood outside of in Jackson, Mississippi called Belhaven that people are just walking outside, and it's just kind of strange. Now, I will say this. The thing that I think is particularly important for this podcast to know is that the final line of the article says this, and I will quote it. Resident Michaela Lynn says some of the potato finders have connections. So people that have found the potatoes, some of the potato finders have connections to a local private Christian university, which may be a clue. And so I'm just putting this out there into the world. Friends, in this local private Christian university in Jackson, Mississippi, you can hear us. We are your friends and we love you. Please DM the podcast account. We will keep you anonymous, but we need to know what's going on. And we're going to crack this case.
I hope it's building towards something.
Oh, yeah. Like it's a Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Like one day
between now and November, like they release more and more side dishes.
Yeah, right. I found it. It's Belhaven University.
I picture right in the middle of this town one day, there's going to be an above ground pool, like right in the city square, filled with gravy.
This honestly sounds like you and I both went to a residential Christian university, and you get a little stir crazy. You come up with some prank ideas in the middle of the night,
and they start getting weird.
And they get weird, and it's innocent.
Second semester,
and it's like, you know what we should do? Mashed potatoes.
I bet we make national news if we leave mashed potatoes all over town every night.
I'm telling you, you've been potatoed. That's been their thing.
Yeah.
So we're here. Lame. Our DMs are open at Relevant Podcast. Let's talk about this because it's a great
just
joke.
taking Jesse's idea to its logical conclusion.
What's that?
If you're just gonna if you're just gonna be going through like a giant buffet style, why even go to a restaurant? Like, why does it need to be housed somewhere?
Big containers of food everywhere.
Just leave containers of food
for whenever you
around
get
the
hungry.
city.
And you take a bite or take a scoop.
It's like public water fountains.
Exactly.
We just have
we pay a
public
tax on it.
Right.
Just like I get water pumped into my house. Why can't I have a refried bean dispenser from the city installed? Sure, it's going to get clogged all the time, but it'd be a great luxury.
I also love the complete, like, I don't know why they picked mashed potatoes, but there's something that strikes me as like doubly funny because it's the most harmless substance on ever. I mean, you can't, the color doesn't offend you. The taste is non-offensive.
Well,
The
no one
shape
has
of it-
strong feelings about mashed potatoes. Just like,
No.
It's
Sure.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah,
Mashed
why
potatoes. If they left anything else out there, it could be construed as something, but this is just, it's just
it's
a
like
really
if they
good.
left asparagus or anything, it'd be like, that's wasteful.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
But mashed potatoes you can make from
It's-
a powder in a box.
Yeah,
Nobody's
no-
thinking about wasting it.
And everyone's like, we got enough of it. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
there's an
we're
endless
never,
supply of mashed
we're
potato
never going to
powder.
run out of this.
Right, you
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
are throwing away a turkey carcass at the end of Thanksgiving, but you're always like, what? How on earth do we still have 97 entire containers of mashed potatoes? This is crazy. So they're doing everybody a favor.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Van Jones joins us.
I've been starving in a garden, hiding garbage in my heart. Is it too late? Too late.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Relevant Podcast. Hey, if you like this show, do us a favor. Head over to Apple Podcasts and leave a review and rate it. It helps with the ranking and visibility of the show. It's really interesting. Also, while you're over there, check out 2 new podcasts we've recently launched. Unedited with Cameron Strang, yours truly, is my long-form conversation show we put out twice a month. The current episode is with our friend Andy Mineo. It just released yesterday. Check it out. We do talk about preachers and sneakers for a little bit of it. Also, check out every weekday Relevant Daily, 10 minutes, 5 days a week. We're bringing you the latest happening at the intersection of faith and culture. Check it out. It's perfect for your drive home or your drive into work every morning. It's Relevant Daily and Unedited, wherever you get your podcasts.
For a heavenly peace, a hero over me.
You're listening to King's Kaleidoscope. The song is Hero Over My Head. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Tame Impala with Borderline. Van Jones is a social entrepreneur, a CNN political contributor, and host of The Van Jones Show on CNN. He's the author of 3 best-selling books and worked as the Green Jobs Advisor to President Obama. Jesse recently spoke with Van about Americans' justice system, how he's working to change our parole system, and some of the influential movers and shakers he's recruited to his cause. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So, we had actually, before even what's funny is before the Redemption Project was coming on TV, we had actually reached out to talk to him about Reform Alliance, which is this, parole rehabilitation. He wants to see the criminal justice system totally reformed. And the Redemption Project is basically a way to kind of show light on some of the reforms. So I wanted to ask him, essentially, why he feels like this is so important. And he said, our philosophy about criminal justice, there's 1,000 reasons, but our philosophy about criminal justice really points to a social issue, which is there's, in his mind, a loss of empathy as a culture. Someone does something wrong, we want to throw them away forever. And this show can hopefully spotlight what forgiveness looks like. Here's what he had to say about it.
I am so concerned that our society and our culture it's just losing empathy, caring, compassion. It's just exited the culture. It's so trendy, it's so hip, it's so fashionable to be in this cancel culture, blocking people on Facebook, no forgiveness, no second chances. You did something wrong 20 years ago, you said the wrong thing 20 minutes ago, you put out the wrong tweet, you're finished. And I want to do something 180 degrees in the other direction by taking people who have done really bad stuff and who want to make amends and talking to them and getting their story and then talking to the person that they hurt or all too often the surviving family member and getting their story and understanding their pain, and then putting those two different people in the same room and filming them just having a conversation. And, for me, it has been life-changing to over and over again. We got 8 episodes where we've done this over and over and over again. And I've seen miracles happen in front of my eyes. And I'm saying to America, just watch this show and then explain to me if these people can talk. It doesn't always work out perfectly. It doesn't always get to a warm, fuzzy place. But if they can at least just talk across this much pain, how is it that we can't, unblock our friend who voted a different way from us on 2016? We're blocking people on Facebook. We're writing people off. We're always so happy to be the 4,000th person to retweet something negative about somebody. Can we get to a better place, at least a little bit, inspired by these people who've had to do so much more to even sit down and talk?
And I love the vision behind it, and that he's trying to speak to like a cultural narrative. So even if you're not passionate about criminal justice reform, he's right. We've gotten to a place in culture where, one mistake can ruin your life forever and you never get a chance at redemption. And he talked about that. He talked about how it shouldn't be something where you shouldn't be defined by your worst decision. And here's what he had to say about that.
I think that it's important that we have high standards. I'm not somebody who's trying to make excuses for, somebody who's making terrible decisions. I'm not a part of the pro-crime lobby, and I don't know anybody who is. But having high standards doesn't mean we have to have closed hearts. And the problem we have now in America is we want to have these super high standards for everybody and then close our hearts to the fact that people are human beings and they make mistakes. And you can't go back and change something you did 1 minute ago, let alone a decade ago or 2. And we've got to get to a different place where, especially if we're going to have this much data about each other, we have so much data now and so little wisdom. Somebody does something on their Twitter feed 5 years ago and it comes back out and their career is over, or somebody says something in a house someplace, somebody's got a cell phone, they put it on YouTube and that's it. And no matter what else they've done or ever do, they can never recover just from that. Well, that's not going to work. So we have to have a society, if we're going to have this much data and information, we have to have 20 times more wisdom and empathy. And so this show is trying to push in that direction and try to take a stand for that, because no matter what you've done, you are not only the worst decision you've ever made. You are not only the worst thing you've ever done. You are always that plus so much more. And yes, you have to pay a cost and a consequence if you do something really terrible and crazy. But even then, there's more to you than just that. And we lose our own humanity when we deny humanity to other people. We shrink our own horizons and understanding when we don't extend some understanding and empathy to other people. And that's what I'm fighting for.
Yeah. Oh man, and that's why watching the show was so emotional, to be honest, is because, yeah, you put yourself in the shoes of what it would be like to sit across, but then also who's someone who's wronged me, or who's someone that who would be, because what he's saying is true. Like, the situations might not be extreme, but we lose our own humanity when we don't give empathy to others. But I did want to ask about, just philosophically, he's advocating for restorative justice, not just, actually, it's called the Department of Corrections. Correcting behavior. What does that look like versus just punishing people? And that, is why I wanted to start the Reform Alliance. And here's what he said about that.
Well, as you know, I am the CEO of something called the Reform Alliance, reformalliance.com. Jay-Z and Meek Mill and 6 other heavy hitters got together to create an organization to try to make our court system more fair and to make our criminal justice system more fair. And I'm proud to lead that effort. I also helped to found something called Cut 50, CUT50.org, Cut50.org, that has been working for 5 years now on a bipartisan basis to make our criminal justice system more fair and frankly less big. And so I, for myself, I am this is my life's work. I mean, I've been working on this issue for a very long time. I am especially proud, though, that restorative justice, which is, a subcomponent of criminal justice, is finally getting a prime time debut. We've all been taught about eye for an eye, and if you hit me, I hit you, and that's retributive justice or retribution-based justice or revenge-based justice. And, that has a place, I suppose, but it has not delivered the results that were promised. It turns out if you add damage to damage, you get more damage, not necessarily justice. And so restorative justice comes in and says, well, how about rather than focusing on hurting the person who hurt somebody, let's focus also on healing the person who's been hurt. And sometimes the person who's been hurt, they don't necessarily feel that great just because somebody got 50 years in prison. They might be better off hearing an apology, knowing that the person learned a lesson, hearing what that person is going to do to make amends, getting more information, about what truly happened. Because in the court system, a lot of times people, they just plead the fifth, accept the plea deal, and go away to prison. And that family who's sitting there hurting never understands what went down.
So, that's kind of like the heart behind, why he's doing this. But I also, I hadn't seen him speak a lot publicly about his own faith and his own values, but I knew that he grew up in the church. And I wanted to ask how that upbringing in the church, shaped his philosophy when it comes to these really important issues. And he's, as you'll hear, I mean, this is something that his faith is the reason why he's doing this. Here's what he said.
I'm a Christian, and it is always present in me the way that I was raised. Dr. King and his expression of forgiveness and the attempt to reconcile, even in the midst of some of the most atrocious racial violence in the world, was something that I was raised with. I was born in 1968. He was killed in 1968. I was literally raised with Dr. King's politics and with the faith of Jesus as my cornerstone. He sacrificed himself so that others could be free. That's Jesus. And this whole idea of human freedom and human dignity being an outcome of grace is something that I was raised with. And so it's so strange to me to live in a country that still, though it's becoming more secular, identifies itself as primarily a Christian country, certainly not a Muslim country, not a Buddhist country, and yet the best of the Christian values seem to be slipping away from us. And so you'll probably hear the word God and the word prayer said more in the context of my show, The Redemption Project, than probably all the other hours of cable television combined, because the culture has gotten so secular. But literally 9 times out of 10, both of the people who are sitting down in these redemption conversations have some kind of faith tradition that they are quietly relying upon.
I think that's such a powerful thought, because, a lot of times you hear about, Christian values slipping away in culture. And a lot of people relate those to like moral issues, oh, well, ideas about marriage or, language is so bad on TV or whatever these are, as like indications that, society's becoming less Christian or quote unquote. But what he's saying, no, it's the lack of grace. That's where you see it, where people not willing to do what Jesus did, which was to forgive and love your enemies. And like I said, I know we have a lot of guests on to talk about shows and books and albums. And, we try to have a pretty high filter, but this is one that I definitely think people would benefit from checking out. And it's it's as he said, it's going up against Game of Thrones. So, it's also, he mentioned it, I didn't include the clip, but the reason why it's so significant is Sunday at 9:00 was Anthony Bourdain's old time. Mm-hmm. And, the CNN really wanted to do something special in that slot, and something that
injustice. That's what they call it. That's what sorry.
Anyway, the Redemption Project is really great. And so Sunday's 9:00.
All right, that was Van Jones. His new show, The Redemption Project, debuts this Sunday. Check it out. Stay tuned. Up next, it's our Listener of the Week.
Quit lying to yourself and everybody else, thinking I'm a better version of myself, holding it together, don't know how you do.
The Bible's full of motifs: grace, sacrifice, the cross, but one of the most overlooked symbols in Scripture is actually trees. In Reforesting Faith, the new book from Dr. Matthew Sleeth, the author looks at the ways trees have been clear-cut from Christian sermons, theology, and literature, even redacted from the modern biblical text. Find out who's behind this theology in Reforesting Faith, available wherever books are sold. All proceeds benefit reforestation efforts around the globe.
Strangers in the bathroom, making new friends, I don't have to.
You're listening to Claude. The song is If I Were You. Okay, it is time for...
You listen to the show, and it's time to get to know you. It's the Listener of the Week.
So soothing. So
It
soothing.
is. It's very
And
relaxing.
it always strikes me, some people have a different singing voice than speaking voice, and it's like, oh wow, I can't believe that voice came out of that person. Not Chandler. It's just one.
That is the
it's one palette.
that is the audio equivalent of like a nice bowl of mashed potatoes. Just pleasant, like
Pleasant.
like it's on the main course,
Right.
on a bad little side.
No,
you
it's
know?
fine.
I mean, I wouldn't
It's
mind.
nice.
It's a nice smooth little bite. Yeah.
Well, you guys, every week or every few weeks, we go on Twitter and ask you to nominate yourselves to be our Listener of the Week. You send us 3 interesting facts about yourself. And this week, joining us is Lindsay Gorvette. Rhymes with Corvette. Welcome, Lindsay.
Hi, guys.
Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
And it just snowed, didn't it?
It just snowed. Yeah, we had an April 14th youth group got canceled last night. Snowstorm.
Wow.
That's,
Yeah.
Are you on the youth group cancellation beat, Lindsay?
Oh yeah, I'm on it for West Michigan. No, our youth group got canceled, and last year on the same exact date today, which would have been April 15th, Sunday last year, church got canceled. So it must just be this like mid-April snowstorm that Grand Rapids gets, and it's just really great. I love it.
Buddy.
Okay. I spent the weekend in shorts. I got a little sunburn.
it is
lovely, 80 degrees.
It is delightful here, and I
mowed the lawn yesterday.
And it's this like I didn't realize you're like I thought the Bible Belt was running through the South. It sounds like where she lives in Michigan, like on the local news, they have youth group canceling.
Youth group is canceled tonight.
I'm assuming. Do you work at a church, Lindsay?
Yeah, my husband does, and I do as well. So yeah, we were watching American Idol last night, and all the church cancellations were just running on the bottom of the screen.
They broke away from American Idol, and we're like, we have a very special breaking update. Youth group canceled tomorrow night. More on it. And there's like a guy at the scene outside the church, and it's like, it's starting to flurry here. We don't want these kids coming to get ministered
Sidewalks
to
are
tonight.
a little slick today.
Yeah.
It's a big deal for sure.
Big. And it was Palm Sunday, which is like pre-Super Bowl Sunday for churches.
Seriously?
It's like,
I mean,
it
had to be
that's really
real.
hard to see. Anyhow, keep going, Justin.
I hate that for you, Lindsay. I'm looking back in our DMs, and there's been a couple times where we've tried to have you on, but we, for scheduling reasons, I'm looking back.
We keep shunning her.
Yeah, we do. And she said, here's what she said in August of 2018 after one of these incidents. Okay.
Yeah.
I know I'll never top Cody, but my reputation of my family and friends may be very well riding on this.
Oh, wow.
Cody was arguably the best listener of the week we ever had. He had the Dennis Rodman story.
Oh, yeah.
So, Lindsay,
Incredible.
you think you just name dropping Cody coming in here? You think you have a pretty good shot at maybe dethroning him? Let's
Okay, here we go. Here's the 3 facts. So the first one, she says, I won a good amount of money, Canadian money to be exact, for getting engaged.
I mean, Canada's involved. Winning money is involved. Some kind of contest.
Why would you win money for getting engaged? Please tell us the story, Lindsay.
Okay, so my husband and I went to a small Canadian Bible college in New Brunswick, Canada, and I was there for the summer. When we got engaged, it was filmed. And so it got turned into a video that we had posted on Facebook. And when I was over in New Brunswick, Canada for the summer working, there was this small radio station that was doing this contest called Win and Wed by the Sea. And so if you submitted your engagement video and you got enough likes on Facebook, you won a $20,000, like all expenses paid wedding at this place, and they had it all planned out. We already had our wedding planned. So we decided if we won, we were going to secretly get married and then have that as like a big party afterwards because we didn't want to wait that long to get married. Anyways, we didn't win, but we did win third place. And so we won $1,000 for getting engaged. And it was Canadian money. So I just felt like I had to.
Yeah, but that's like 18,000 US. Like for $1,000 in Canada, you can do almost anything in America.
Are you sure? I think it's the other way around. I think it's $18 in US.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
that's
familiar.
Interesting. And I'll ask those Southern Baptists.
It was 5 years ago, so we'd have to look up the exchange rate in 6 years ago, 2013.
I will say I'm getting very concerned that you say that now, Eddie, because I've got into currency speculation lately. I've invested a lot in the Canadian dollar, and I feel that I've taken a very large hit. And I like also, Lindsay, that you tried to cheat the contest, essentially. You know?
Because
for some reason you had to get married secretly and quickly.
Yeah.
It just was a December wedding that we had planned, and the wedding wasn't until May, and we got married in New Jersey, where I'm from and grew up. So I was like, I can't abandon my family. So instead I'll just lie to a Canadian radio station. It just felt like that was a better choice.
I was going to say,
public lies.
I don't know the penalty for fraud in Canada, but I don't think the Mounties would be very pleased to hear this story. But, water under the bridge, I guess.
Here's fact number 2. I witnessed a tragic, life-changing boogie board accident when I was 7. It happened in my own pool, but everyone's alive. Please tell us.
Yeah. So I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, and one summer we were down at my pool. It's an in-ground pool, so it's got concrete poured around it. Yeah. And my youngest brother, who was 3 years old at the time, was balanced. It's quite graphic. He was on the boogie board, and he had his hands on the the railing for when you walk into the shallow end of a pool, and his feet came out from underneath him, and he fell face first onto the concrete. And so he lost his front teeth and had to be rushed to the hospital. And my mom was down there alone with all of us, and we were 7, 6, 4, and 3. So it was probably very tragic for my mom and probably terrifying, but everything's okay. And he has better teeth than all of us now because of all the dental work that got done for him. So
the real tragedy in this is a pool day was spoiled. I mean, it sounds like
get many of those.
It sounds like, especially up there in that part of the country.
You got your sunscreen on, you got your swimmies out, you're ready to go, and now you got to go to the hospital.
Yeah, all these, freak snowstorms are blowing through, canceling youth group, and one of the few nice days you have. Yeah. Your brother, who sounds
ruined it all.
Yeah,
sounds a little clumsy.
I know. It doesn't sound like the boogie board's problem. I mean,
Lindsay, between us girls, is he kind of the black sheep of the whole operation, or what?
Yeah, especially since after that, like I said, now he has better teeth than all of us because of all the work that got done to him. And he just got to eat popsicles for like 3 months because he couldn't eat any food because he had no teeth. So really, it's driven a wedge in our family.
Did you try to, because I'm the oldest of 4, and when we were young and one of us would get injured, then the rest of us all became amateur paramedics pretty quickly. We're like, I know what you got to do here. This is a simple.
You're in the fields of Nebraska. It's because you're in the fields of Nebraska. There's not exactly ambulatory service nearby.
No, exactly. The Nightingale helicopter's like 3 hours away, and it's notified by collie, like a dog has to run and tell them. It's a weird system they got there. Here's the other thing that baffles me about this. Lindsay, you're talking to someone who's done more dangerous things on boogie boards and swimming pools than probably anyone you'll ever speak to in your life. Yeah. And I
believe it.
I have walked away mostly unscathed.
Really?
I've never knocked any teeth out.
Right.
This sounds like, what's your brother's name? How old is he now?
His name is Blaze, and he is 20.
Wait. Can I say, when you name a kid Blaze, this is what's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is...
Hold on.
You
have a brother. You have a brother named Blaze, and that wasn't one of the interesting facts.
It's not Blaze. It's Blaise. So people do ask if he's like my
French
dog or my horse or something like that. But
it's a brother named Blaze. Like, however you spell it, it's pronounced Blaze. Like, I'm trying to pronounce it another way. You have a brother named Blaze, and I take everything back. Blaze is probably awesome. He's out there doing cool pool tricks. He's got fantastic teeth. He
doesn't care that it's swim day. It's time.
Oh my goodness.
If I know Blaze, he didn't let the injury slow him down for 1 second.
Okay, last fact for Lindsay.
And then I have an extra little fact about Lindsay that I'm going to sneak in at the end, because this is another one that have gotten her right on the show.
I firmly believe, she says, 6 degrees of separation is real because she just found her connection to the relevant cast yesterday, and it's legit. Do tell.
So this is an interesting one because, when I first sent that fact to you guys, it was like a year ago. Yeah. So even since then, I've found more facts, and I have a couple different connections to you guys. So, okay. So the first one was somebody that Annie knew, which Annie isn't on today, but it was somebody that Annie knew. I saw a picture on her Instagram of a woman named Alex Seeley, who's a pastor at the Belonging Co. in Nashville. And I've met her, so I thought, that was my connection. But then just recently, we had Steve Carter here in the office where I work, and Steve Carter's super connected to you guys. So that's my solid connection to you. I believe that 6 degrees of separation, if you're not familiar with it, is everybody in the world is connected within 6 degrees. So somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, anyone in the world, you can make that connection. And I have a friend that we always text back and forth. Yeah. Here's our connection to this person.
Even more compelling, Lindsay, is that you and I are both, I just got my 23andMe in, and you and I are actually third cousins. So now, congratulations.
Lindsay, how do you spell your last name? Or how do you pronounce your last name? Is it Gorvet like Corvette?
It is.
I now have a connection to a man named Blaze Gorvet, and that is awesome.
So that. My maiden name is Hudak, so his name is Blaze Hudak, not Blaze Gorvet. So Hudak is Blaze's last name.
I got a connection to a guy named Blaze.
Would he be willing to take your name?
Because I got a couple, but the other guys are off the grid at the moment, so I can't get up with them.
So yeah, I think that that's a real thing, and the more you think about it, the more you realize it's true, and you're connected to anybody in the world. It's kind of cool.
Eddie, you had
eventually. I mean, you go far enough back if you believe the Bible. We all go back to Noah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I'm actually trying to do the reverse in my life and disconnect myself from other people. So I'm just burning relational bridges left and right. So at this point, I pretty much only got a couple people.
If you roll back the clock, if Kim Ham has taught me anything, if you roll the clock back 2,400 years, Mom and Dad, Adam and Eve are right there. We're all related. It's just unbelievable.
Jesse, I got an extra little fact about Lindsay that this is just made for you. Lindsay's mom apparently has a dog. The dog had puppies. They named the 6 puppies Dwight, Stanley, Phyllis, Oscar, Angela, and Toby.
Like that.
Yeah, Toby's
that is so true.
I love it.
I'm kind of creeped out that Eddie has somehow stalked you. And
cousins know these things.
Well, she's my cousin. Yeah, we all like our parents all talk. It's
you know what Steve Carter told me?
Yeah, it's our family group chat. The thing.
Steve Carter just texted me and told me, "Oh, Blaze's sister, tell her about the litter of puppies." Yeah, it's crazy.
Right? It's like I'm addicted to coffee and running in sunshine. Not in that order. What about you, Lindsay? Same thing.
Running, sunshine, coffee for me.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was reading directly from your own Twitter, but okay, that's cool.
I know.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to text Steve Carter and let him know he had it all wrong. Yeah. So, it's okay.
Please do.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Lindsay. That's Lindsay Gorvet, everybody, our listener of the week.
You listen to the show, and it's time to get to know you. It's a listener.
This is my speaking voice, but saying it over a song.
There you go. All right. Thanks, Lindsay.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
If you want to join us as our listener of the week, hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast and tell us 3 interesting things about yourself.
And make it, we're going to need, there's been, I don't know how much behind the curtain we should tell them, but we've talked about maybe retiring this segment. We need people to come in hot. If you want to see the segment live on, bring us some hot facts.
Hot stories.
Hot facts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to Quip for making the episode possible. Remember, Quip starts at just $25. If you go to getquip.com/relevant right now, you get your first refill pack for free with your Quip electric toothbrush. Hey, thanks also to Van Jones for joining us. You can follow him on Twitter at VanJones68. And make sure to check out the debut of his new show called
The Redemption Project.
The Redemption Project on CNN this coming Sunday. And probably look for him playing silly games on Fallon if the last few weeks have been any
exactly. The big hand game. Can't wait, Van.
All right. On that note, we will wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Chandler Strang.
I'm Eddie Koffoltz.
I'm Tyler Huckabee.
We will see you on Friday. Have a good week, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
We have a very special breaking update. Youth group canceled tomorrow night.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care. Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.